Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and got a few questions here. I haven't done a question and answer session or a live question and answer session in a while, and I hope to be able to do some of those in December. But I do want to focus in on some questions, and I'll just do some individual videos, some shorter videos that you'll see coming, over the next couple weeks. And so I'm just gonna kind of hit a few of these, and we'll see how it goes. This is a question from Daniel, and he says, "Thanks, Professor Spira, for all the videos and great info. For a person that has recently become conscious about alkaline versus acid, mucus-free, and similar diets or lifestyles, what's the best way to share the enthusiasm of eating healthy without alienating family and friends that are totally addicted to salt, sugar, and hormones and are not trying to hear the truth?" Well, thank you, Daniel, for this wonderful question. And this is tough. It's real tough to get this information across to our loved ones, and we've talked about this in a couple other videos. A couple good ones to check out would be the number one reason that people are unsuccessful with the Mucusless diet, or number one reason people quit the Mucusless diet. I forget the exact title. There's a couple other ones about social issues, but overall, the message is that we have to, first and foremost, get into this information ourselves, and we have to develop things to a certain extent. And that's, immersing yourself into the information. The more that you are able to, learn communication skills. I had studied different things, about, body language and that kind of stuff, just to kind of try to understand, aspects of communication. Some people, they're not gonna. That's why there's different people. Not everybody's gonna like my communication style, so you go to somebody else, that fits your communication style or whatever. But as far as that goes, there was a really good course that I had went through on the Art of Rhetoric. I forget the name of that professor, but it was one of those, like a CD, a book, an entire college course on a CD, so it was like a lot of lectures. But that was really interesting as far as just understanding language and the way to create really good arguments, and that kind of thing. Dale Carnegie's works, if you know who he is or anybody has heard of him, has a lot of books on how to win friends and influence people, and a lot of that kind of stuff. And it just has to do with understanding the art of persuasion, understanding the way, and it's not that you're trying to persuade people to as if you're doing something despicable or something like, haha, I'm gonna persuade. It's like, no, there is an art to this thing, there is, and that kind of stuff. The question is, what are you trying to persuade people for? You trying to persuade people for your point of view, or whatever. And they're just little things. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and do that, but it is good to have some of that under your belt. It's good to understand the way language works, the way people think, and that kind of stuff. Now, with that said, there's a video. I might isolate the clip and post it as a separate video. I think the last meetup we did, we had a fun little kind of game that we played, or a little acting, whatever you would call that, where one person acted like someone that didn't know anything about the Mucusless diet, and somebody else acted as if they were they basically were who they are, and so we kind of talked about different techniques of talking to other people about the diet, not giving them too much information that you make them mad or you scare them away or anything like that, but you give them just enough information and you do it in such a way where they want to know more. So that's really an important key. You don't want to try to tell them everything. And I know it's hard because you're really excited about it and you're like, man, this information is so wonderful. I feel better. I'm getting all the slime out of my body. And you want to tell everybody, but you do want to have some restraint, because if you don't do it right, people are really gonna, people can really turn on you. Your closest loved ones can turn on you and, make you feel kind of bad, and you don't want that. So in my opinion, the best thing to do is just, as part of what I'm talking about with that persuasion aspect, but find ways to just make people more interested in what you're doing. One of the biggest things that I do when I'm talking to somebody about the diet is I downplay the importance of the diet, because when you come and you kind of express yourself how you probably really feel, which is, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, man, you gotta check this out, come on, man, get this book, man, right now, man, read this tonight, man, come on, man. Like, when you're that excited, that scares people away. They don't get it yet. And some people might feed off of that enthusiasm and be like, oh man, cool, let me check it out. But most people are, especially when you're starting to talk about diet and when they start to hear that things that they're addicted to are not a part of the diet, then they're gonna be a little dissuaded. Like, oh, hey, whoa, what you so excited about? But what you want to try to do is just kind of downplay, like, oh yeah, well, I started this diet several months ago or a year ago or however long. It's like, I really, I like it, and but it's helped me. But then you try to change the subject, or you say whatever, and then they're like, well, wait a minute, well, tell me more. What's the name of this? Oh, the name is Mucusless Diet Healing System. Then all of a sudden most people never let that part go. Most people are gonna be like, oh, okay, and then that almost never happens. Most people are gonna be like, mucus, huh? The Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Art, and that's where you can kind of decide how much summary you want to give. You could do a real simple little, well, it's basically a transitional system to help you get off of foods that create pus and mucus in the body. And you could leave it there, and then they're going to say, but usually what happens is, well, what kind of foods create pus and mucus in the body? And then I usually just say, well, meat products, dairy products, and dairy, and it's kind of obvious, but those are actually pus-forming items, and then mucus is starches and the grains and the fats and all that kind of stuff. But there is a method of transitioning off of the worst things using some of these other mucus-forming items. And so you don't have to give up all of that right off the bat, but and right there, like that might be too much explanation for where you're at and what you're comfortable doing. You could stop at that short summary. If you wanted to elaborate a little more, do what I just did, but that's about as much before I'm telling people, well, if you're actually really interested in this, what you need to do is pick up the book. You need to read the book. And that's when you say, oh, okay, well, where can I find it? And you're like, well, if you want, and obviously I like people reading the annotated Mucusless Diet, but whatever. But just get them a copy of the book, or have them get a copy themselves, because that's another dynamic. Oftentimes if somebody's given something for free, they don't really take it for granted. Or they take it for granted. Like, oh, well, I got it for free, but they don't take it seriously. Whereas if they're truly interested, they're gonna, pay $15 to get the book, or to download it for several bucks or whatever. They're gonna check it out, or go to the website, do their research. And so for me, that's the main goal of interacting with people on that level, is just trying to get them interested enough to where they want to do the research, get a copy of the book, start checking out the videos, and let them start to go through the process themselves of really learning about this information. So that's what I would suggest. I'm gonna put links below to a couple of those other videos that you should check out. And I think I will isolate that part that I talked about a little earlier, where we had fun playing the little game. I'm going to isolate that and post that as a separate video in case you missed that meetup, and because I think that was a powerful little section that we had. Plus, it was fun. I want to do that. I want to do that again. I used to love that kind of stuff in school. They'd always ask who was, ask for volunteers, and I'm always the first one with my hand up, and then you would go up front, and then you act, do whatever it was, whatever the study was or whatever, and you kind of role play and stuff, and I always like that role playing. That's what you should call it, I guess, role playing. But so I hope this helps, and until next time, peace, love, and breath.